I don't like being treated like furniture. I don't think anyone likes being treated like furniture, but some people have the luxury of never needing to be in a position where all you are is a helpful face or a pleasant decoration. My name is Eve. They, them. I work as an events assistant at the Kilroy. I wanted to be a photographer, but it never really paid the bills, and I got tired of taking yearbook photos at the local schools. Events, though, it's good money. And I like my coworkers. I like my bosses a lot. Camille and Joe always take good care of me, but working events is much more difficult than you think it would be. Lots of lugging heavy tables and bar carts full of catering, wiping down glass surfaces over and over until they're spotless, running around really tight stairwells, and utility lifts that all your coworkers have horror stories about getting stuck in. It's a lot. It's a lot of invisible tasks that take tons of time and tons of people, and the only time guests ever mention them is when they've gone wrong. During the events themselves, it's really just standing around looking prim and proper and approachable. I mean, you have to be like a robot sometimes. Sure, you might have started your shift at noon, and now it's 8 and your feet are sore, and you haven't had dinner. But God forbid anyone catches you just holding a finger sandwich or walking up to the bar or even just sitting down. The moment you're not a pristine doll waiting for your commands, they just give their subtle glances. A small furrow of the brow. The tilt of a frown. Never enough to make a scene, never enough to harm their precious image of themselves and how much they think they're charitable people who are deeply grateful as they wander around in shiny dresses and boring suits and complain about the host's choice of champagne before they go to a theater show about struggles they'll never experience a day in their lives. It's all judgment. That's what it is. They're so ready to place judgment and power on people without any knowledge on what was truly happening. They just see what they want to see and form their opinions on things that make them feel better, that make them feel superior to the likes of me. Maybe I'm being cruel. There are some wonderful people out there. One foundation was having their holiday party, and the host couple walked up to every single staff member and insisted that they take food and made sure we all ate. They'd personally bring us a plate if we couldn't, and automatically asked what cocktails we liked on the house. There's also this sweet couple, Norm and Steven, who always ask me how my photos are going. Tell me how lovely I look in this events outfit. Say that if they're ever looking for a photographer, I'll be the first person they call. They haven't called. Then there'd be the corporate lawyers that would walk directly in front of me while I'm in the middle of a conversation with my boss and start talking to him like I was never there. Even the smaller things, a board meeting having 2 ginormous lunch trays full of sandwiches and fruits and cheeses that took an hour for me to transport from the caterer, only for none of them to even touch it. That banker that would chuckle to himself and nonchalantly tell me, "You know, if we combined the net worth of everyone at this party, we'd be at over $1 billion. Like it was nothing. Like he's not talking to someone whose bank account has never reached over 20,000. That's the thing about being invisible. People just sort of talk at you. They tell you things. I mean, I've always just had one of those faces that people spill their secrets to, but these people, if you could hear the way they talk about each other, they'd kiss you on the cheek and stab you in the back. So full of judgment. They're always so, sly about it, too. They never say what they're truly thinking. It's always so thinly veiled. Dorothy's been spending an awfully long time with Clark, don't you think? Gil shouldn't be going to David for a deal like that. I'll move him over to Brian instead. You'd think Joe and Camille would have a better handle on the place, but we should look somewhere else. These drinks have been such light pours. Maybe that's the thing about being furniture. You're the only one who can sit in all their secrets. The only one placing the stories together, tracing the paths of relationships, hearing all the sides, seeing things for yourself, forming the right opinions, all the while waiting for the pot to boil over. I heard something about a month ago, something that I'm not sure I was supposed to hear. I was in the corner of the foyer near the coat racks doing my usual pose of robotic civility. I felt my eyes following a young woman in a pale blue suit. She was stressed. I mean, she looked stressed. And it was a different stress than usual for her. She was so very afraid, and I wanted to know why. I wasn't standing anywhere near people, so I shouldn't have been able to hear a voice, or it wasn't a voice. It's not a voice. It's not words. I can't describe if it's a man or a woman or otherwise. I can't tell the pitch or the tone or if it's urgent or calm. All I can tell is that it's always right in my ears, like it's coming from the walls. And Miranda, in that pale blue suit, was framing her corporate attorney for embezzlement and fraud. And her attorney was coming to the party. It should have shaken me more than it did. I don't know how I knew that. I can't tell you how it happened, but it felt powerful. My first instinct wasn't to scream in fear or run to a coworker or glance around the room for some sort of prank. The first thing I did was laugh. Because the instant I heard that secret, Miranda's attorney walked through the door. And she looked furious. The next secrets came to me very slowly. Well, the secrets that they weren't actively spilling to each other around me. Tax evasion, fraud, infidelity, they were all terrified. Terrified of the judgment that points like guns at a target. The more secrets they had, the more they were afraid of whether or not there was a target on their back. Yet that didn't stop them from pulling the trigger on others. I couldn't keep it to myself forever. The secrets, secrets need to be told. Knowledge can't be forbidden if it isn't known at all. It started with Stephen and Norm. Norm had been cheating on Stephen for upwards of 3 years, on and off, and the coward had finally begun pulling his assets and slowly removing money from their shared accounts. Not enough to send any alerts, just enough where he can float under the radar, take more than he ever deserved, and then run off. Made me sick. That someone could be so cruel and so cowardly. You know, he's not even registered to vote. That's not even a secret to him. He just told me that. I wanted him to see what he's done. I wanted him to know what he's destroyed. But I didn't want to directly interfere. Maybe it was self-preservation, or maybe I'm a coward too, but I think he forgot that the walls have ears. I did not need to walk over to Stephen, because I knew he would eventually find me. He was kind, one of the ones that looked me in the eyes. So around 10 o'clock, the height of the evening, he gave me a cheeky little wink to say hello. And I stared at him, and I smiled. And Stephen's eyes grew wide and glassy. Stephen's smile melted away, and a voice from the walls poured into Stephen's ears. And Stephen knew. I don't remember the last time I've seen so much broken glass. I don't remember the last time an entire bar needed to be restocked all at once, but their level of festivities have not been the same since. Rumors spread like wildfire, and they're starting to know just how much power lies behind their words. McIlroy tells me their secrets, and they should be very afraid. I can't find it in me to be truly surprised, because I was told this story before. I just didn't realize it was about me. I was at the park, photographing the birds, maybe some dogs and their owners if I built up the courage to ask them permission. I was following a starling when my lens caught a boy staring right at me. Or, maybe he was a boy. The voice was a bit high. but he had a tiny bit of facial hair. I mean, I know gender can be a bit. I'll be calling him a boy. Gray button down, silver chain on his glasses, and a hoodie with a Mothman patch on one of the arms. I thought he might have wanted his picture taken, so I gestured for him to come on over. He did. I told him that my name was Eve, and asked if he wanted a photo, said I quite liked his fluffy hair. He got a bit sheepish and thanked me, but said he was a bit camera shy. Then he cringed and clarified that he was camera shy specifically in regards to his photo being taken. I laughed. Then he asked if he could tell me a story. A story about the Kilroy. It was my story, before it happened. I assumed he saw a name tag or note, or saw the logo of the place on my bag, but looking back, I can't help but be a bit more willing to believe that it was something he just knew. And it was a bit freaky. I mean, I'm so used to not being noticed, so feeling actually seen, it's unnerving. But I also think I'm envious, actually. Who told him those things? The future is a secret, so what does he get to know? What can I do to know more? Boy, it was funny, actually. He started to apologize, but even he said he can kind of get where I'm coming from with this one. Does anyone else know what's happening to me? Does anyone else know why it feels so good? I won't stop to anyone that believes my story and finds me cruel. They've probably done worse to us and know how to cover it up. So I will tear their towers down. And I, for one, don't think you're in the position to judge me.